This is a video that is long overdue. I am so tardy to this party. I've been sitting on this topic for so long it's got squatters' rights. This is like when they made Zoolander 2 15 years after Zoolander 1 and nobody cared about it, but I still just feel the need to finally mention the Illuminati situation. For most of 2023, Illuminati has been this constant source of agony. There was an unreal amount of information that has come out and continues to come out about Illuminati, all of which is very bad. And as a result, her career as a YouTuber has reached a screeching halt. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have kept up with it, at least to some capacity, because it's been a huge story for so long now, but I'll give you like the most basic rundown. Illuminati was a YouTube channel, well, is a YouTube channel. She continues to post even through this, this apocalyptic career destruction. Her channel is dedicated to making video essays, mainly on like a variety of topics. She was known for how quickly she gets out the video essays, and also them being pretty high quality still. She grew pretty quickly and got very big. I think at her peak she had around 1.7 million subscribers, and things were smooth sailing. She was popping off, constantly recommended in the algorithm to people. And then in April of this year, her ego got the best of her, a victim of her own hubris. She made a call-out tweet against Legal Eagle, a very well-respected YouTuber and a fucking lawyer too, by the way, claiming that Legal Eagle's team had stolen her editing style. So, not Legal Eagle editors broaching my editors to take my video style when they didn't give up the info, they literally copied it, and by the way, I have the messages from my editors and found an email from them too. Just changed the color from purple to blue, huh? Interesting. So this is her trying to accuse Legal Eagle of stealing her editing techniques, which is an outrageous claim to make. And she didn't realize she brought piss to a poop fight. Legal Eagle was easily able to dismiss this shit and dunk on it, which really ruffled her feathers and forced her into a panic. So she tried desperately to backpedal, making an apology statement, claiming she should have reached out to hash it out privately, but it was too late. This set in motion what would be her YouTube career demise, because after this, the holes in the ship started to show, and it began to sink. She was then faced with numerous other allegations ranging from abusive behavior, mistreating employees, just being an absolute menace to work with. Multiple victims of her came forward to showcase what Illuminati was like behind the scenes and some of the things she was doing in real life to make them miserable. Like, so much, I don't even know where to start. You could fill an entire fucking library section with just textbooks on this Illuminati lore. It has been so much, and it's constantly being added on to. Like, there's constant, like, patch notes here where there's, like, new updates to this story with new victims coming forward with their own accounts of Illuminati and what she's done to them. It's just a never-ending flood of information about how awful of a person Illuminati is. If you just search Illuminati's name on YouTube, you will get hundreds, if not thousands of videos going over and chronicling all of the allegations, all of the evidence to support the claims, and all of the terrible things that have come to light from this, as well as a lot of video essays on her downfall, because it is such a rare phenomenon to see someone as popular as her sink their career in this way. It doesn't happen often. The only other example I can think of is Boogie, and that happened slowly and gradually over the course of many years. Hers happened over the course of a few months, because that's how much came out and how disgusting a lot of it was. It is wild. So I talked about it on stream a little bit, as well as gave my prediction on what I think she's going to do in the future, because as of right now, she is still just trying to bury her head in the sand and keep posting videos to try and squeeze as much as she can out of the channel while it still's around, while there's still some people watching. She's trying to get the most juice from the squeeze here, trying to suckle the last bit of milk from this titty. And I wanted to share that prediction I had, because I do think it's a pretty strong one. It's not backed by any scientific evidence or anything, just my own game theories I've cooked up here in my head. But I think it's a pretty likely course that she'll take once she realizes that she can no longer suck her audience dry like a vampire, once they all stop watching, which she is rapidly getting close to that point. I never caught up, like, with the full depth of the Illuminati situation. All I know is that I've never seen a channel go from as popular as she is to where she is now. So she must have done some really deplorable stuff. I know it started when she accused Legal Eagle of plagiarizing her editing style, got biblically fucking clowned on for it, and then from there a ton of people came forward revealing how toxic and mean she is behind the scenes. And then she recently had a whole special segment in H-Bomber's video on plagiarism. And then she also got an entire video from H-Bomber specifically on her plagiarism, because all the shit she does is basically lifted from, like, articles or documentaries. But other than that, I haven't dove into, like, the 5 or 6 hours worth of cumulative, like, trash she has done. It's a lot. But what's very interesting is she still continues posting as if nothing happened.
So I wanted to...
All she did was turn off comments and she just puts her head down and grinds, ignoring all of it. What if it's another AI YouTuber? That, I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like if anyone's gonna try and replace themselves with AI, it'll be Illuminati at this point because her name is Mud. Like, she is ruined. Like, nobody, like, supports her. So she would definitely stand to benefit from buying Kwebbelkop's AI Keys to the Kingdom and make herself an AI tuber. It's Sunny V2 with a voice changer. Yeah. Yeah, I'll make you a prediction. Here's what I think. I think Illuminati will continue this trajectory for maybe 6 more months tops. After that, she's going to start another channel using an AI voice model in order to keep doing these same kind of videos but start fresh and hope people don't connect her to it. That's my guess. Because before all of this came to light, she was getting like 100 to 300k views per video. Then everyone learned that she's an absolute insufferable person that's done horrible things, apparently. And now no one watches her. But if she did the same shtick with an AI voice on a fresh channel, she'd probably get away with it. Like I just said, it is so much to cover. I never even took the full plunge. It's just, she's this reoccurring villain. Every 3 weeks or so, there's new information about something fucked up she's done or is doing. It's this constant snowball that never runs out of snow, gathering steam. Better for her to just call Saul. Nah, she's gonna need to get herself a Hoover. Like, she's gotta relocate and disappear. Like I said, my prediction, I really do stand by it. I think she will probably, in 6 months' time, make a new channel, AI voice, make the exact same content, and just start fresh. So go ahead and clip it. Make sure you remember my prediction because I stand by it. I really think she's going to be one of the first YouTubers other than Kwebbelkop who is going to try to go entirely AI video based. That is the direction I think she is going. So let it be known, if that happens, I called it. I'll hit you with an I told you so. That's really about it. See ya. About a week and a half ago, I found myself elbow deep in the asshole of Twitter drama involving Dream, some content creators, and the Minecraft community. I wasn't involved in this by choice. I was drafted into this war, and I found myself confused, thrown on the front lines of a Minecraft apocalypse with my dick in my hand and not understanding what the fuck was even going on. I just decided I'll talk about it today. Even though it's been like a week and the dust is settled, I finally caught up on the lore here so I understand what the fuck was even happening now, and I just figured it's worth at least talking about since a decent bit has happened. So, in a nutshell, it was a video of me floating around on Twitter, which was a clip from one of my streams, where I was talking about Dream. Dream being the biggest Minecraft creator on the planet. He's up there with Jesus Christ in terms of popularity. Dream is huge. And I was talking about Dream negatively. I called him a douchebag, talking about the time him and I were on a podcast and he was telling a story that just didn't really sit right with me. So this clip was taken and floated all around Twitter, and the Minecraft community, Dream stands in particular, went fucking wild in a full-blown feeding frenzy, flipping over the lunchroom table like things were getting out of control. But I didn't even know it was happening because none of them tagged me in it, so I couldn't see it until it was brought to my attention by Dream himself. You see, Dream actually reached out to me when he saw the clip. And Dream was super nice, super professional. He didn't even take it personally. He just wanted to explain what was going on in the story that I was talking about, which gave me a negative impression. He explained it. It turned out it was a full misunderstanding, and we cleared the air. and there was no bad blood between us. Now, obviously, none of this was relayed to the Dream stands or the general Minecraft community, and I don't think it needed to be either. I think handling these kind of things privately is the way it should be. This should be the norm, but a lot of times in the Minecraft community in particular, I see them demanding that the creators they follow talk about and give a personal endorsement or opinion on every single fucking person on the internet, so the stands can know for sure whether or not it's okay to like that person or hate that person. It's like they're constantly asking permission on who to like or hate from their favorite creators. I don't think everyone's interpersonal relationship should be everyone's public business. So the fact that Dream reached out to me privately to handle things shows me a really high level of character from him. Now this brings me to what I want to talk about going forward here for the rest of the video. I obviously have no problems with Dream, but I do want to talk about Dream stands and just general unhealthy obsession with YouTubers, in particular in the Minecraft community. So pardon me for just a moment right here while I take your head and gently place it on my nipples to suckle on some facts. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of something or someone, even a huge, really big, massive fucking Wumbo fan of something. But when you cross that line into unhealthy obsession where your entire day and entire online identity is based around defending and fighting for someone else's content, who is a total stranger, mind you, no matter how big of a fan you are of Dream, Tommy, or any of the big Minecrafters, they don't know you, and you don't know them. You just like their content, and your entire happiness is placed in their hands for you, where you're living vicariously through their content. You have a problem. There is an issue there. Now, I made a video talking about stan culture when in regards to like K-pop stans a little while ago, and I think there's a difference between that and Minecraft stans. Mainly, K-pop stans have absolutely no connection to the K-pop group. The K-pop groups never even really acknowledge their stans, but in Minecraft, you directly talk to them through streams, and most of the Minecraft content creators directly lean into their stans and encourage some of the behavior. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. You know, you're just encouraging a community that supports you. What's the harm in that? But the more that you cheer on stan behavior, the more you reinforce this idea that it's normal and okay to make some people's entire happiness revolve around you, where you are now like their entire existence online. They exist online to worship you and fight your battles on Twitter, and I don't think that's good. I think that's bad. Which is why so often stans are synonymous with toxicity. The more and more you worship something or someone, the more personally invested you become, and you become so attached to it where everything, it becomes like a personal attack. If someone doesn't like your favorite Minecraft YouTuber, you get fucking pissed. Which is why in this whole drama thing I was involved in, a very large community of Dream stans went wild on me. Hulkmania was running wild on my asshole, brother, and I had no idea it was going on. Dream stans were face fucking me and just using me like a fleshlight, but no one had the courage to tag me in it, so I couldn't actually like read it and enjoy it. But I did watch Dream's video on his stance on stans, and I have to say there's a couple of things I disagreed with in there. Obviously, this doesn't mean that I dislike Dream. Like I just said earlier, I have a very positive impression of him. It's just I disagree with a couple of things he said about stans, mainly that it's just a minority, a very small minority of stans that are toxic, and the ones that are toxic aren't popular. I just don't think that's an accurate representation of standom toxicity. So in my case, some of the posts that were making things up about me, like someone said I hated Hunter x Hunter for some reason, like all of a sudden my anime tastes were being fucking attacked, and that's just a blatant lie. I think Hunter x Hunter slaps ass. That shit is a banger. So I don't even know where half the shit was coming from, but a lot of these posts that were just shitting on me had tens of thousands of upvotes, likes, retweets, quote tweets. These were pulling in huge numbers, millions of impressions. This isn't a small community of stans that get toxic like this. It's a very large number, and you see it all the time. I remember there was some controversy with Technoblade a little while ago, and stans from other Minecraft communities fucking popped off on that too. 50,000, 60,000 likes on some of the tweets. Like, it's not a small number. Even if the majority of the stans are just very nice, encouraging, good, upstanding citizens, the kind of people to walk an old lady across the street and then kiss her on the lips, it still doesn't discredit how huge the number of toxic stans is. Yes, there may be more good, non-toxic people in the standom, but there still is a huge number of stands that are very toxic, and that number is only going to grow as it continues to be encouraged. And I haven't really seen many instances of the Minecrafters coming forward and saying, hey look stands, you're going too far now, this is getting kinda fucked. They're not drawing like a line in the sand so the trousers are just overflowing with cum and it's spilling out, like, and now there's a lot of toxicity. And I think it's because at no point is anyone stepping up and being like, this is too far, this is where this needs to stop. You know, so in the stand's perspective, since they're not being reprimanded or told anything, they think it's probably totally fine to just keep attacking people, and that the creators they support are alright with it, signing off on it. And not to put words in their asshole, but I imagine to quite a few of them, like Tommy in particular, I would imagine, wouldn't like to see his stands being assholes. That would be my guess, because that reflects poorly on him too. So I guess just to wrap it all up, there's nothing wrong with being a huge fan of something and being involved in a community of people that also like that same thing. You make friends, you get to enjoy the content together. Absolutely no problem there whatsoever. But there's a huge difference between that and some of the people that are stands on Twitter for Minecrafters, where they'll spend like 8 hours a day just fighting people and calling them evil or wrong if they don't like their favorite Minecraft streamer, and they place their entire happiness into the hands of this content creator who doesn't even know their name. I think that's not good. I think it's very sad. I can't even really blame the people themselves, because a lot of them, I imagine, just aren't really happy in their own life and are using it as a form of escapism where they can just tie themselves to this creator whose content they've been really enjoying, and they get very defensive and possessive about it. You know, it's sad, and I don't really fully blame them. I just think at some point it needs to be addressed like, look, enjoying the content, enjoying the community, that's totally fine, that's one thing, but there's just no reason to go on Twitter to be hateful, angry, and whiny about people that don't like the content you like, and God forbid there's even a tiddlywink of drama that happens. Shit gets heated really fast, and I just wanted to talk about this today because even as I'm making this video, there's a few accounts that I've followed from the Dream drama that were shitting on me that are still going about it, even though Dream and I are totally fine. So I just wanted to bring it up. And like I said, I'm a fucking BTS ARMY ally. I absolutely do think some good things come out of these communities. Like, BTS ARMY has done incredible work with charity. So I'm very happy to say that, yeah, I do support like a lot of these like very huge fandoms. But there is absolutely the need to address the most toxic parts and how dangerous it can be to like keep encouraging this level of like celebrity worship. Nothing good comes to the person that becomes obsessed with somebody. There is nothing good about that, and I just think when in Minecraft specifically, where most of the audience is very young, they need to learn pretty soon that worshiping strangers isn't really the best way of finding your own personal happiness. No matter how much you like their content, they don't know you, you don't know them, and you shouldn't place your entire happiness on the day-to-day basis on them. And that's really all I want to say. That's about it. See ya. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you and your family have a wonderful time of festivities, food, and whatever else you may do to celebrate today. I'm starting my Thanksgiving festivities the way our forefathers intended, by reading through an unbelievably long list of accusations and allegations against a YouTuber named Dream. Massive YouTuber, I'm sure you're familiar with the channel. I don't know how he's celebrating Thanksgiving, but I'll tell you one thing I know he's not thankful for, and it's Twitter. There are at least 100,000 different threads attempting to chronicle every single allegation as well as like the supposed evidence to support all the claims. And this morning, I decided to like finally just take the plunge, fucking cannonball into this cesspool and figure out what exactly he's even being accused of, what the evidence is, trying to make heads or tails of this wild web of things. And Jiminy Christmas, I'll just tell you, sports fans, I'm more confused than a caveman seeing fire for the first time. I've read through so much shit, and then I'll go to another thread, and then it contradicts all the shit I just read, and then there's a whole nother thread about debunking all of this shit, and then I'll finally feel like, okay, I understand what's happening here, but then from out of nowhere, a new challenger enters WrestleMania coming from the top turnbuckle and blasts the whole thing wide open by making some crazy claims about, like, actually the debunking was false, this is a fake account, or, ooh, the initial account that started posting these claims turns out to be completely fake, and here's proof of them admitting that it was all a ruse. And then apparently it's become a very common pastime for people to just make brand new fake accounts and start putting in a bunch of wild allegations on top of all of this to keep muddying the waters. It is so messy. The allegations include grooming, Dream being a pedophile, sending moaning videos through Snapchat to minors. There's a ton of claims, a ton of different things from a ton of different places. And throughout trying to follow all of it, as well as the evidence, everything just keeps getting flipped around, and it's been extremely difficult to figure out what you can trust and what you can't. A lot of the claims do seem very believable, and some of the evidence seems credible, but none of it's like 100% concrete proof of anything. I truly believe Dream is a narcissist. I think most people believe that, and I think Dream knows his audience mainly skews towards kids. Dream's audience has always been on the younger side of things, and yet Dream constantly engages with them in very inappropriate ways, such as like posting thirst traps, some of the things he says, like all of that very public and very well documented. I think all of it's very creepy, and I've said that quite a bit in the past. So I think with his history of doing things like that, it makes a lot of the claims have a lot more weight to them because they're much more believable, knowing that Dream publicly does encourage his fans to be parasocial. He does post thirst traps, even knowing that his fans are children, which I personally believe is a creepy thing to do with the audience he has. So when these claims come out, I think a lot of people start to take them at face value because they're like, oh, that sounds like the Dream that I know. This sounds like something Dream might do, so it's probably true. Even though right now a lot of the evidence backing it up isn't the strongest. Even, like, there is evidence, sure, but it's nothing that 100% condemns him or 100% shows that the claims being made are accurate. Let me give you an example of one that blew up a couple days ago during the whole Dream did what Twitter trend. So, Dream was accused of sending moaning videos through Snapchat to minors. And here's the evidence for that. This is allegedly Dream's Snapchat account, but there's nothing actually connecting this account to those videos whatsoever. You can easily just make a fake Dream Snapchat account. There's nothing in those videos that has his face or anything. It's just the sound of someone moaning that resembles Dream's voice. To me, it sounds more like a Shane Dawson moan. I don't listen to a lot of Dream, but when I heard that, I thought for sure this was leaked audio of Shane Dawson when he did that degenerate shit with his cat. These videos just aren't definitive proof of anything. It's a black screen with the sound of somebody moaning. Now, that's not to say that this can't be real. It could be Dream. I have no way of knowing for sure one way or the other. It's just right now with what is presented, it's not enough to convince me beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is Dream here. Anyone could be moaning there and just say, look, it's Dream, listen, it's definitely him, but it's just a complete random person doing it. If they really wanted to get wacky with it, they could have grabbed the audio from that classic meme where the guy passes a kidney stone while coming and is like screaming while orgasming. Like that, and then just say, it's Dream, look, and it was sent to a minor. Even though, again, there's also no proof of it being sent to a minor, at least nothing that I can find here for that. So the only proof here is the name, Dream, it's clearly his Snapchat, it must be. And listen to him moan and look at what he said. And then it's just some like really fucking cringe text that seems like it's straight out of the worst written erotica fanfic ever. I'd kiss your neck and tease the shit out of you, run my hand up your body. Your tits are so nice, what the fuck, I just want to fill you up, princess. Oh god. Sickening, vomit-inducing trash there. But I just don't see anything here that proves that this is Dream that sent it A, and Dream that sent it to a minor B. Like, and I also don't, just on a side note, I don't think anyone's ever been so terminally horny that they send a video of them moaning to somebody. That is just so conceptually baffling to me. I don't know if it's commonplace for a dude to do that, but I can't even imagine that. To just send a clip of you moaning to someone would be like the worst jump scare ever, just like, oh, are you feeling it now, babe? Like, did you like that one? Like, I can't even imagine that thought process. But again, there just isn't enough here for me to know what is true and what is false. As more and more evidence comes out, I'm sure it'll make it more and more clear, but so far everything that keeps coming out has 1,000 other things that all try and like contradict it, and it just gets so hard to figure out what's real, what's fake. There is only one small chapter in this massive textbook here that I was able to confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt at least happened and is 100% real. And that's the entire saga of him versus Nicholas Cantu, the voice of Gumball.
10,000, 100,000 of them to take me down. So that's how minuscule you are to my size, right? My stature of intelligence, character, body, and reverence in the world. 1K is better for this pussy who doesn't want to give away his millions. Are you Jewish? No, man, because I'm gonna do movies, stand-up comedy, everything, all this shit. Music, whatever the fuck, e-commerce. You don't understand that you're talking to, like, a Michelangelo.
So, in this anime arc here, for all of the Dream controversy, what happened is Nicholas Cantu and Dream got into a big verbal disagreement. Apparently it even got physical with, like, Nicholas slapping Dream and this and that. Dream eventually filmed Nicholas in an Uber where he was drunk and high, so cross-faded. According to some of the claims, he was also going through a manic episode. In the video, he starts saying some awful shit. He starts saying slurs, too, towards Dream. And Dream captures this footage, eventually drops it online, and then goes over the situation. Both people catch a lot of shit here, Dream and Nicholas. However, the internet mainly rallied behind Nicholas against Dream. Dream is not a very well-liked person online for a variety of different reasons. In this case, they cited the fact that he filmed this and then tried to use it as a weapon is an extremely weird thing to do, especially when considering some of the other circumstances at play around this situation. I'm not here to get too deep into the weeds of the Gumball versus Dream stuff here. There's plenty of information out there about it if anyone's curious enough to look into it. The only reason I'm bringing it up here is because out of everything I've been reading so far, this seems to be the only one that I can confirm with 100% certainty this is a legitimate situation that happened as it was described and as it was claimed to have happened. Just like sand, you can see it, you can touch it, you can taste it, it's real, it's there. So there is a lot of proof around this one. This whole situation actually happened. Now, Dream has been anything but silent on this case. He's been engaging directly with all of the shit going on Twitter, and he made a statement saying that it's all false, it's all a lie, and he's making a huge comprehensive video going over each and every component of it. So I guess we'll have to see what he says in that video about everything. Obviously, I don't think he's going to admit to anything, even if it is true, but I think just by having him address it, it'll help figure out what claims even have real validity to them in the first place, because I imagine when tackling these things, he's going to go over the situation, which could help piece together the story, and maybe some of the claims do get proven true from Dream's video, even though he's been trying to make excuses for it. Like, there's no telling. If all of the claims are fake, if all of the claims are true, I have no idea, but all I know for sure is this is a fucking crazy, messy, nearly impossible situation to actually follow and get to the bottom of. So I guess we'll see what happens when he posts this, when he posts his video about this, and go from there. That's about it. So yeah. Yesterday, H3H3 Productions revealed something he's been working on for a long time now in secret, like the fucking Manhattan Project of YouTube drama exposed videos. He released the content nuke on Keemstar. It's 46 minutes of high-octane, full-throttle, nuts-to-butts drama action, and I'll say it's one of the only 40-plus minute exposed videos I was able to watch start to finish without falling asleep. However, it is still just a lot of things that have been covered for years. Everything Ethan talks about is shit people have shit on Keemstar for years, so there's no new information in the video. It's kind of just like an anime lore explanation video for this anime character of Keemstar, like an episode recap. Here's what happened previously on Keemstar being an asshole. Ethan's basically just compiled all the big Keemstar douchebag moments and put them into this video compendium. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that weren't familiar with some of the shit he's done in his past, and Ethan just brought it to their attention. It's just for me personally, since I love to keep up with internet drama and squabbles between internet people, I would have liked to see something new from Ethan. Like maybe Ethan finds a director's cut of Cats that has Keemstar acting in it, and then he exposes Keemstar for being a bad actor and having poor taste in picking the movies he's in. But again, there's nothing wrong with it still just being things that have been covered in the past. The reason I'm even talking about it right now isn't so much because I care about Ethan and Keemstar having internet beef. It's actually what I think Ethan did that I think sets a terrible precedent for the entire platform going forward and could lead to a disastrous future. In Ethan's content nuke, he mentions Keemstar's sponsor G Fuel 8 times, constantly saying things like, "Why is G Fuel sponsoring you? They shouldn't be sponsoring you. This is kind of fucked up that you still have sponsors. How is this possible?" Just implying that he needs to lose his sponsorship with G Fuel, you know? So by implying these things, Ethan ignited his fan base to spam G Fuel, forcing them to drop Keemstar, which happened. G Fuel did drop Keemstar, and people went wild in celebration. It was like the end of Star Wars Phantom Menace. They had like this huge fucking parade, medals were given out because they defeated Keemstar, at least financially. They got rid of his biggest sponsor that he's had for many years. And a lot of people say, you know what, yeah, it is a slimy tactic, because it is. Going after someone's sponsors and employment, that is such a fucked up, low tactic. That's shit you see those middle-aged Karens on Twitter doing when they have an argument with someone where they start contacting the employer of the person they're arguing with, trying to get them fired. It's the same tactic that Ethan and his fan base have done to Keemstar. And a lot of people say, yeah, it is kind of fucked up, but it's Keemstar, so we're fine with it. And you shouldn't be. Yeah, Keemstar's done a ton of fucked up shit that definitely deserves consequences, but taking it into your hands as like the arbiter of justice to spam his advertisers to get him to drop them, you don't see how that could be used against you? It's like the same thing for people who are constantly begging for the government to censor the internet because there's things they don't like on it. It's a very slippery slope that can get out of control very quickly. So sticking with Keemstar losing G Fuel. Well, him losing G Fuel wasn't enough for the bloodlust of the fan base. Now on the subreddit, they're taking action against Spotify because Keemstar is on Spotify, so now they're lobbying and spamming Spotify to drop Keemstar, another one of his big advertisers. So you see what's happening, right? What Ethan has done is he's given power to the fan base to ruin anyone's career. And what this does is that tells everyone else on YouTube with a following they can do the same thing because these advertisers are going to cave to pressure. It's very similar to the most recent YouTube adpocalypse where Matt got a bunch of people together to contact advertisers on YouTube and telling them to drop, which they eventually did, and that fucked a ton of YouTubers and destroyed a lot of YouTube careers. It's the same thing, but now done on an individual level we haven't seen before. Let me tell you exactly how this could go. What Keemstar could do, Keemstar could ignite his fan base to spam Ethan's advertisers with Gokanaru's video, The Death of H3H3. In this video, YouTuber Gokanaru does a ton of research and has a very long and thorough video that paints Ethan in the worst light possible. He has a bunch of clips where Ethan's casually saying the N-word, saying some other heinous shit, and doing some things that advertisers might not like. If Keemstar gets his fanbase to spam Ethan's advertisers with that, and the pressure's enough, they could drop Ethan. Same way G Fuel just did to Keemstar, the same tactic. What Ethan's done is he's opened up this extremely dangerous can of worms. Now, I'm not here defending Keemstar. I'm not trying to white knight him and be his chat mod, deleting mean messages and licking the piss off of his toilet seat. And I hate that I even have to clarify that. I think it's pretty clear that I'm not defending Keemstar, but the internet's already going in this way where if you don't agree with everything Ethan did in his video, all of his methods, then you're just defending Keemstar and you're a bad person. I'm saying what's happened to him and what Ethan has started is extremely bad for anyone on the internet. I'll use something from Ethan's video for an example. In Ethan's video, he talked about the time Keemstar falsely accused a RuneScape streamer named Tony of being a pedophile. Well, let's say Keemstar never made that mistake back then. Let's say he made that mistake tomorrow. Tomorrow, Keemstar says, this RuneScape streamer named Tony is a pedophile. And then people hear that, and now with what Ethan has shown them, they say, well, that's fucked up. It's time for justice. So they start reporting that Tony is a pedophile to Twitch, to RuneScape, and to Tony's advertisers and spam the shit out of him until all three drop him, and now Tony has lost everything even though he's done nothing wrong, just because Keemstar made a mistake and his fan base went behind it and started spamming. That's what Ethan has set in motion. Whether the information is right or wrong, whether the person deserves it or not, most people seem to agree that Keemstar deserved it, but this can absolutely happen to someone that truly doesn't deserve it by any possible measure. Ethan's like the Prometheus who brought fire to YouTube comments. He's shown that if you just weaponize YouTube commenters and get them to rally together and spam these advertisers, they will cave to pressure. Giving that much power to a mob mentality and cancel culture is super dangerous, especially on a platform like YouTube, where a lot of people invest their entire lives into a YouTuber. Like, they make their personal identity just being a super fan of a YouTuber, so when that YouTuber is being attacked or engaging in internet squabbles with another YouTuber, now these people can actually do something super harmful to the other side that they might not deserve. making them lose sponsors. And a lot of YouTubers rely on sponsors because the YouTube ad revenue is super all over the place for a lot of people. You can get 1 million views and get 71 cents. So these people do rely on sponsors for their livelihood, and now what Ethan has shown is that you can fuck that as long as you just have enough people doing it for you. Which, I'm super surprised he even did this tactic. Ethan's always been someone that's championed against the kind of cancel culture dogpiling shit. But I guess for Keemstar, he's decided to make an exception and open Pandora's box. It's silly to think that this is going to be isolated to just Keemstar. That's not how the internet works. If it can happen to one person, it can happen to everyone. There's no world where the internet only uses this weapon one time and against one person. This hopefully won't be commonplace, but now that it's been shown to be effective, I can absolutely see a lot of people on YouTube using this against people they don't like, and that's the worst part. Keep in mind, these companies, they're not the moral police. They're not the fucking hall monitors in the school lobbies making sure people aren't running in the halls or chewing gum. These people don't give a fuck. What they care about is if having that person on their roster as endorsed by that company is hurting their image. And if enough people are telling them this is hurting your image, they're just going to drop them. They're not going to do any research. You can take anything out of context, spin any narrative you want, even without evidence, and get people dropped. It's happened before, just not on like a YouTuber personal level. And your own subreddit's already starting to go down that path. They've already got the big justice boner for fucking Keemstar, so now they've gone to his other advertisers like Spotify. They're trying to deplatform him from Spotify and a lot of other things. Now, how far does that go? Will they now start trying to deplatform and force sponsors out of deals with the people on Twitter that were defending Keemstar? And not even defending Keemstar, just people saying Ethan may have went a little far targeting advertisers. Well, this group that's now going after Spotify and the one that attacked G Fuel, well, they could do that to the people that are now trying to spin Ethan as some kind of bad guy for this. It's just, you can see how it's already starting to snowball into something that could be bad for everyone on the platform. But yeah, overall, the video was entertaining. It served the purpose that Ethan wanted it to serve, but I couldn't help but have this sour taste of ass in my mouth when he kept bringing up the sponsors, clearly making it a point to attack the sponsors without him recognizing the far-reaching consequences that kind of tactic can have, not just to Keemstar, but to innocent people on the platform, and could happen to Ethan as well. It's just something that could absolutely backfire on everyone. It's just a double-edged dildo that is gonna fuck everyone if this becomes a mainstream approach to things. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is a totally one-time thing, but knowing the internet, I just don't see that being the case. So that's all I wanted to talk about, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah. This is a video I probably should have made 2 years ago, but the person it's about is a parasite who thrives off of attention and controversy. He himself comes forward and says he only does these things so people will make videos about him. His name is Maximilian Muss. He's the oh yeah guy. It's the only thing he's ever done. It's the 15 minutes of fame that he continues to milk the very dry titties of to this day, to command a troop of 13-year-olds to harass, dox, threaten, and do all kinds of deplorable shit to other people online from all sizes. People that have 2 viewers on Twitch to big streamers to big content creators. He does some absolutely degenerate shit, and I truly think he is one of the most vile, foulest people to ever use the platform and abuse the power that he found online. I was never a fan of his content, but I never really had a problem with him as a person. It wasn't my cup of cum, but I didn't care. I don't watch it, it didn't matter to me. He even used to stop into my streams when I streamed on YouTube and just be super nice. So I had a positive impression of the guy until he decided to open Pandora's box and create a Discord channel for his YouTube community with the sole purpose of harassing and bullying as many people as he could find online. And he tried to weaponize them by having them go to streamers' streams and spam racist and homophobic shit by his orders and spam Max Gang with it, hoping to get the streamers banned for it. And from what I remember, some of them did get banned, but the ones that didn't just had a really bad time because he had the whole Discord go bully them. He did this to my channel back in the day. He did it recently, which is why I'm talking about it now.
Of the Discord, which is the oh yeah guy. Now, this is what he does. So if you read the post, it says, everyone, go to this live stream, type Weast Raid, Weast Gang, and say homophobic stuff, and spam, and be racist, and sexist, and mean, and also Max Gang. And then
the reason why he had them saying Weast Gang is because that's a YouTuber that he didn't like, so he wanted to make it sound like all of the homophobic and racist shit was coming from that guy's community, hoping he'd get banned for it. He did this for other streamers as well, and he'd target small streamers and hopefully get that streamer plus the guy that he was impersonating banned as well. It was really just deplorable shit. And yeah, this is some horrible shit, but it gets worse. He also would have his followers go to other people's channels and force them to do things. Like there was a man that had a mental illness that he went to the channel and forced him to eat his own shit on stream. He was threatening and having his community threaten to find and kill him if he didn't do everything Max said.
So, hold Mr. BTFO close to your mouth. It's time to eat him. Don't eat them. Just push through. You don't give a fuck. Eat all of it.
For obvious reasons, I had to crop the video so you can't see him eating his own shit, but he also had him right on his stomach in his own feces. It's just extremely fucked up, and Max is laughing about it the whole time and threatening him through it. It is really hard to sit there and watch. It's like watching a fucking ISIS video. Like, it looks like this guy's being held captive by Max. There was also this content creator that Max targeted, a very small creator who was just making some things because he was having fun. He took his whole community to bully the shit out of him relentlessly. He ended up crying and profusely apologizing, begging for the bullying to stop, which, of course, Max didn't.
Forgiveness. Just please stop harassing me, please. I beg for forgiveness. Please have mercy. Please.
The guy was going through a really hard time. He started apologizing profusely, begging for the bullying to stop, which Max didn't let it. I'm not going to show you any of that because it's beyond disturbing. Maximilian Muss would also have his community reach out to YouTubers and have a guy put things up his asshole, take it out and eat it for them, to try and disturb them and shock them. He would have live streams where he'd have his fans get naked, and they'd make fun of the naked fans and have them do other gross shit, usually to their butthole. It's really fucking weird shit. Over the course of a couple months, Max then had his community dox Weast, and then threatened to go to his house and kill him and his family. He then had his community target Weast's girlfriend, whose father had recently passed away, to insult her father and bully the shit out of her about her dad's passing. And he had this to say about it: there's no remorse because this guy is truly trash.
The situation was bully Weast's girlfriend about her father, who had recently passed away.
Okay. And then I saw this opportunity where she was like, oh, my dad died, and I sent some people, and, you know, that was because I wanted him to make a video. I still think maybe I probably shouldn't have done it. It was not my best moment, but I would do it again.
There were a number of articles written about Max at the time by sites like Dixerto, talking about the drama and how Max had been accused of harassing Weast. Instead of denying it, he just did interviews where he shamelessly admitted that he had done it and that he didn't care.
If I got him banned, honestly, I think that would have been funny. I don't really care that much about it.
Max desperately craves attention. As he self-admits, the only thing he cares about is people talking about him and making videos and sucking his dick and sucking his asshole. That's all he cares about. So making a video is exactly what he wanted me to do. But the reason I'm doing it is because I feel like his audience that he has in his Discord right now, the one that's attacking my Discord because he told them to, probably doesn't know what kind of person Max actually is. I feel like the majority of people would be shocked to learn these things about Max, especially his stance on child pornography being shared in his community. Now, everything I've talked about up till this point isn't even the whole story behind this hemorrhoid. This is simply just the cherry on top of the massive queef cake that is Max. And that brings us to the reason and the biggest problem I have with Max and why I'm making this video today. He's recently popped his head out after hibernating for over a year, stewing in his own bodily fluids and filth, and he wanted to feel powerful again, so he set up another Discord to have people go in and harass streamers, and I was one of the targets. And when they targeted me, I mentioned saying Max Gang is like saying you're proud to be a pedophile. And the reason why I said this is because Maximilian himself will tell you the reason he remakes the Discord so many times is because his community shares so much child porn that he has to take it down because he worries that he himself will get arrested for it. Unfortunately, Max has scrubbed his entire Reddit and made it private, so all of the posts that were talking about the child porn plague that was sweeping through Maximilian's community, they're no longer there. His own posts about his stance on it are no longer there. However, I did find one thread that he overlooked where it does talk about it. It's this right here, where they're talking about someone that was sharing child porn, and that was the reason it was taken down. This is the only one that survived the purge of Maximilian's subreddit, and I don't know how Max handles these things these days, but back then, he used to defend it, saying that the sharing of child porn was just an inside joke of his community. And he also took down people's videos that were talking about this. Like, here's a link to one, which is no longer available because Max struck it down. People were calling this out. People were talking about how Max is cultivating a community of people that are sharing child porn. Now, while you can't control every lunatic that's gonna watch your dog shit Fortnite trolling videos, you can control your response to it by banning them and making a statement saying that this shit is not okay. I've never seen Max say that. The only statements I saw him make in the past were that it's just jokes, and that's why he's remaking the servers. That's beyond fucked up, Max. It's an actual fucking felony. You can't just say, oh, no. You see, the child porn, it was just a goof. It was just for laughs, you know? Just, why aren't you laughing? Now, maybe Max handles these things totally different these days. Maybe he's went on a full soul-searching journey, locked himself in a sensory deprivation tank for a full year to find himself, and he realizes that the sharing of child porn isn't just hearty giggles and that it's wrong. Perhaps, though it doesn't seem like he's any different than he used to be 2 years ago, considering he is still making these discords and having his community harass people and do deplorable things on his behalf. And he still makes weird jokes about himself being a pedophile. Like, here's what he said in his Discord after I said what I said on stream. Like, what the fuck is this, Max? Classic side-splitting comedy from Max. Ha ha ha. Yeah, you're a pedophile. Ha 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 ha. Good one, Max. So yeah, this is the Max that I knew, which is why I said those things about his community. Now, I do want to apologize because I shouldn't have made it a full blanket, because I know for 100% fact there's a lot of people in his Discord and in his community that don't know these things about Max, and I don't think they would feel comfortable supporting someone that thinks child pornography is just a joke in his following. That doesn't strike me as something many people agree with. So I do want to apologize to people that I hurt by saying those things when you probably just didn't know these things about Max to begin with. If you only watch his shitty content, you don't know what he's doing on Discord, and I realize that now, so I do want to apologize for that. However, if the community has to be remade over 50 times on Discord because child porn keeps getting shared, wouldn't you say there's a problem with that? I mean, you probably wouldn't, Max, because you used to defend it saying that it's just jokes, but most sane people would probably say that there's a big issue. But anyway, I just wanted to share some of these. This isn't everything. He's been doing this for years on a private Discord that he only allows X amount of people in for like an hour, and then he shuts it all off. He doesn't do any of this on YouTube. He doesn't do any of this publicly because he knows how fucked up it is. And I do want to again apologize to people that didn't know about these things and just think I was insulting them. I understand that not everyone was aware of these things about Max. There's a lot more, but it'd be like an hour-long video to go through all of it. So just understand that I didn't mean it personally towards people that didn't know this dark side of Max, where he's a Sith Lord of actual degeneracy. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. See ya. Alright, I'm just gonna speedrun YouTube drama today and just rip this shit off like a band-aid and get it over with quickly. This will be the last time I talk about Maximilian Muss. For those that don't know, I made a video about this degenerate parasite a month ago, going over all of the heinous and evil shit that he's done on the platform, as well as touching on the way he'd recruit people from his YouTube channel to go to his secret Discords to do genuinely deplorable, awful, horrible things across the internet, and I only touched the tip of the iceberg, barely scratched the surface. I was up there at the fucking tip of the condom where the cum is held, that little cum pool receptacle on the condom. That's what I touched on with Maximilian Muss. I didn't even go into like the whole shaft and everything else. I gave a very rudimentary breakdown of some of the awful things Maximilian Muss has done. Max is a human pinworm, just an asshole shit-eating parasite. In response to the video I posted, he started losing a lot of subscribers, and his fragile insecurities couldn't handle his number going down, so he deleted his channel and then put it back up today, hoping that enough people had forgotten the controversy so they'd stop unsubscribing to him en masse. Max has clearly tied a lot of his self-worth to the numbers on the screen and couldn't bear to see the numbers going down any longer, especially since it's entirely his own fault and it should take full responsibility for the actions that caused all of this in the first place, but he doesn't have that level of self-awareness. So when Max was seeing the numbers go down, he threw in the towel for a month, took a break, and today, just like a gopher, he decided to pop his curious little head out of his hole, and he saw a shadow and decided it's time for 2 more hours of YouTube drama. He posted this video saying that I slandered him and everything I was saying is a lie, with no proof, except for of course the things that are completely proven and even things that he openly admits to and proudly talks about, such as the time he told his community to harass the girlfriend of a YouTuber he didn't like once her father passed away. After her father passed away, he told his community to go spam homophobic and racist shit and insult her father and insult her and just harass her relentlessly during that moment. He proudly talks about it, saying he'd do it again. And of course, Max's micro penis gets semi-chubbed, thinking back on those glory days where he would put a small Twitch streamer's link in his Discord, ping everyone in his Discord, which was thousands, and had them go spam homophobic and racist shit on the person's channel just to ruin their day. And especially women, he would have them insult their appearance relentlessly and tell them to kill themselves. He talks about this, he's open about it, he doesn't try and hide that, but since I brought up some things that he does try and hide, well, now all of a sudden we've got a problem, and now I'm accused of slander and lying. So I want to get ahead of this and just do a full goatsy and just go fully in here and give you all of the information about Max that has also been shared with the proper authorities. In Max's response, he harps on three major things. The first being a screenshot I posted for a few seconds that he claims is a fake screenshot. Now, I'm not going to be here and get into the weeds of it and split hairs. It's entirely possible that is a fake screenshot. Screenshots are very easily faked, and I don't work for a fucking FBI's crime lab. I can't verify the authenticity. I can't go in there in the fucking blockchain and piece together the puzzle pieces and see if it's real. I can't say with certainty whether or not it's real. So if it is fake, then I should have done more to verify its authenticity, and I do apologize for that. But what I can say with certainty is there was very clearly a problem with how women were treated when in his community. After posting the video, I received no less than 50 to 100 emails from victims of Max and Max's community in the Discord. These were women that came forward all sharing very similar stories and talking about the horrible things that they would encounter in that Discord when they would try and speak. They were oftentimes goaded into sexually explicit conversations and often baited for nudes. They'd try and get like nudes out of them or some shit like that. They shared a lot of information and a lot of disturbing screenshots of conversations in the Discord, none of which I will be sharing here to protect their privacy, but again, those have all gone to the proper channels. So there's very clearly a problem with the way that Max and his community would treat women that were inside of the Discord. Now, if this screenshot is fake, again, I do apologize, and I should have done more to make sure that I was sharing only the facts, the most accurate information. And this one is now questionable, so I shouldn't have put it in there. Moving on to the next part that Max likes to defend. This is a hill that he's trying very hard to die on. There was a part in my video where I talked about the time he made a mentally ill man eat his own shit on stream. He claims that he never threatened him into doing it, he only encouraged it. So basically, to break down the situation again, there was a man streaming, and I hadn't watched the entire stream start to finish because it was extremely hard to sit through, but I muscled through this time to get a better idea of where Max would be coming from in trying to defend this seemingly indefensible action of pure degeneracy. But I watched it, and Max is right. He never at any point said he was going to kill him if he didn't eat his own shit. Instead, all he did was use his mental illness against him and manipulate him into eating his own shit. You know, encouraging him, like, yeah, if you eat that shit, it's going to be great. You're really going to stick it to this guy. And he manipulated him into eating his own shit and used his mental illness to get it there. So the guy who actually ate his own shit reached out to me and gave his side of it, just kind of breaking it down very simply and concise. And he basically echoes what everyone could hear in the whole video. I was wrong to say he threatened him. He only manipulated him, which is, you know, that's a lot better. So congratulations, Max, you're taking steps in the right direction. You only manipulated a mentally ill man into eating his own shit. Wow, what a fucking saint. A real goddamn patriot, man. What a fucking angel. I guess the reason I got this story so confused is because Max made a habit out of threatening to kill people he didn't like online, or threatening to kill people who didn't do what he wanted them to do. For example, he tried to have members of his community go to a convention to kill Bluesdank. He was hoping to have Bluesdank murdered because he thought it would be enjoyable. When I posted my video talking about Max, he then started going to his Discord to try and recruit people to kill me. And he's also done the same for Weast, where he's been trying to get people to kill Weast. So I guess, unfortunately, I must have just, you know, jumbled all of these awful things together, Max, and assumed that you also threatened to kill him. But no, you only manipulated a mentally ill man. You didn't threaten to kill him. You just threatened to kill other people on the internet. That's my bad. I didn't mean to misrepresent you and slander you like that. So those are two things that he touches on and tries to defend, but that's not the biggest one. The biggest one is the claim that I made, the fucking bombshell, of how he responds to the child porn that was shared in his Discord. I made the claim that child porn was often shared in Max's Discord, which led to him taking them down multiple times. Now, this isn't every time his Discord was taken down. I never made the claim it was every single time his Discord was taken down. I didn't mean to imply that if that's how it came across, because he absolutely had his Discords taken down for harassment as well. He's probably had 10 or so taken down from just straight up harassment and degeneracy. But another reason, another contributing factor to him personally taking them down was the child porn. And I do stand by that claim because he himself used to admit to it. Now, the reason he fights this so hard is obvious, but also because he scrubbed the internet of all of the old recordings of him talking about it. There's no longer any of the old videos that would talk about his response to these things or how he handled it, because they are gone now. What does exist is some evidence that I still have compiled, and I'll share some of that. Now, in his response video, he of course has another guy fight his battles for him, and he calls all of this into question because I didn't fucking show the child porn. The guy makes it seem like the only way he'd believe the accusations is if I just fucking played child porn in my video to prove that it was Max's child porn. Like, what? Like, how fucking dumb do you have to be to demand to see the child porn? It's a crime. You can't fucking do that. What I can do is show you how he'd respond to the child porn that was shown in there and prove to you that it existed, which I will do. I'm not gonna fucking show child porn, you goddamn troglodyte idiots. Like, these fucking dummies were saying, well, Charlie didn't broadcast CP on YouTube, thus this can't possibly be a true story. Like, you have to have negative fucking brain. Like, you have to have stupid brain to think that that's the only way to prove the existence of these things. It's crazy. So let's go ahead and really dive in. First, let me show you how it got to this point. Why was child porn shared on Maximilian's Discord? Why were pedophiles encouraged to join? Well, because Max was pretty open with these kind of things. Like, here's a clip from one of his old Fortnite videos.
Boy?
Are you a pedophile?
Of course.
Me too, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah. I met a pedophile friend. Yeah.
There's probably like 2 other kids on our team.
I was gonna say let's molest them, but then my video would get age restricted. And yeah, I'm recording a video. I have 200 subs. Say hello to YouTube. Bro.
Hello, YouTube. Fuck little boys in their butt.
What?
Yo, the doors, boys. Let's go. Taking home.
People are gonna watch this in the future. I'm live streaming for the future, man. Guys, when I say I have sex with the children, it's a joke. Wink, wink.
Of course. Wink, wink. Many winks. Where'd you guys land?
Max used to, and still currently does, joke about being a pedophile, and like I said in the initial video, used to write off the sharing of child porn in his servers as a joke with his community, and that it wasn't a big deal. He, again, has scrubbed the audio that used to prove those things, because he must at some point have realized that you can't just fucking say that. But there is still some screenshots which I'll share with you. But let's just go ahead and ease on in there. Let's just start by dunking our tippy toes here into the cesspool of Maximilian Must. Let's just go ahead and dip one toe into this fucking septic tank. This is, of course, the classic screenshot from a month ago. This is like a beautiful painting from Max here. This is like a Van Gogh. This shit's like in the anime when the villain really wants to be caught, so they just keep throwing clues out there until they eventually get caught. This is a month ago. So he's clearly still making these pedophile remarks and joking about being a pedophile and shit like that. So it's not like he's changed much since his 2018 video I just showed you a clip of. He's still very clearly encouraging this kind of shit. So he still does make these jokes, he still makes it seem like pedophiles and all that shit is welcome in his community. So it's no surprise to see that these kind of like-minded people would flock to it. Yes, of course you can clearly tell he's making some kind of effort to make a joke, but it clearly isn't a good joke if you're getting real pedophiles that are sharing child porn in your server now, is it, Max? So, like I said, he used to defend the sharing of child porn in his servers as a joke, and I'll go ahead and show a few screenshots of that. But first, let me prove to you that it used to be shared. Mudahar, who's a man I trust dearly in situations like this, who has worked in cybersecurity for fucking years, it is his fucking profession. If anyone can verify the authenticity of something this heinous, it would be Mudahar. And Mudahar sent this message to confirm it's real, and this has of course been forwarded to proper authorities as well. And if that's still not enough, if you don't want to take Mudahar's word for it, on the day I posted my video talking about this absolute fucking disgusting homunculus Max, on that day, his Discord mobilized to weaponize heinous content involving minors. They started sending that shit to people in my Discord, which, really fucking low shit. And of course, Max stepped up to say, hey, wait a minute, you can't be sharing that kind of child porn, that's not good. And Max, being the hero he is, said this. Wow, just look at how noble this guy is. You know, fuck firefighters, those aren't real heroes. Max is a real hero. Look at the way he puts his foot down here. Yeah, really stepping up to stop this one, Max. And now I'm gonna take you back to the past to look at a YouTuber who sucks ass. It's Max. So, this is from 2018. This is a message Max posted in the Discord. Now, I know many people can easily say, Charlie, this could not be his account. This could be somebody impersonating Max. There's no way to prove this is his account. There's no way. This is clearly someone just impersonating him. Only that you can prove it's his account. For the first screenshot, I was actually in the fucking Discord when he made the message, and he was the fucking host of the Discord, so I know that one was Max. This one, I can tell you it's Max because someone actually recorded the entire fucking Discord before it got nuked, where this right here, this account, was the fucking host of this goddamn Discord as well. Thus, Max's Discord. So I'll show that video real quick. Now, for the skeptics out there, the people still believing in reptilians and flat Earth, this may not be enough to convince you of everything I and many others have said about Max, but unfortunately, this is all I have to show you. There's some other things that I can't share with you that have just gone right to authorities. A lot of former friends of Max have come forward and told me a lot of the awful things that they would do together with Max, feeling regretful, which is good, and I appreciate the bravery that it must have taken to admit to some of the shit that they put others through on the internet. So hopefully they learn from this experience with the Maximilian Musk cult. It's really very sad stuff, and I'm sorry if this still wasn't enough to convince you of the claims, but this is all I can really do. The reason Max defends this so vehemently is because he has done a great job of trying to scrub all of this information from the internet. Back in 2018 or 2019, I could recall a few videos that had him talking about it, but I cannot find those anymore, unfortunately, but this is what I have that still remains. At the end of Max's response video today, he had a real heartfelt message that absolutely tugged on the sensitive cock of anyone that would watch. This could make a grown man cry. Just look what he says here. Most of the things I'm being attacked for happened in 2018 and 2019. In 2020, I decided that I want to be a better person in general. Just less reckless and be a generally better influence on people, and I believe I've become a lot better. Nope. Are you fucking serious? Bro, this shit was a month ago. You were doing this shit a month ago, and then you still kept doing it. And even before a month ago, you had swatted Weast. That was like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. You just out of nowhere doxed Weast again, and then had your community swat him. Here's an audio clip of some of your friends in a Discord recollecting on the war they fought against the guy who didn't even know they fucking existed, celebrating the SWAT that you led. What the fuck are you talking about? You never changed, Max. You never tried to change. You are just a born fucking loser. You were born to be pathetic, it seems. Like, you have no ability to not be a scumbag.
They called the docs, what was the guy's name?
YouTube,
Weast?
Yeah, 300K. I think his name is
Weast.
Weast, yeah, some 300K guy.
Some fucking commie faggot YouTuber.
Yeah. I love this one. Cock.
Anyways, keep going.
And then who was it? Something Fantana? What was his name?
No, but what did they do to Weast? Exactly.
Oh,
yeah, tell
pretend to be a fucking veteran who's like got his like wife in the closet or some shit. Like like suicidally violent and everything.
God,
trying to get the SWAT to come to his house.
Oh. Wow.
Genuinely have no idea what you're talking about with this pity party you're trying to throw about being a better person. If you really tried, you failed instantly. Like, it wasn't even close. There seems to have been no attempt to be a better person. Again, all the shit that started this happened a month ago, Max. That was the whole reason I even went back through your past, is because you were doing this horrible shit, having your community raid streamers, spamming homophobic and racist shit a month ago. And this SWAT was a couple months ago. You have not improved. You haven't come close. You haven't tried. You are still an absolute fucking scumbag. And I don't know why you're trying to even defend these awful fucking things you've done. They are indefensible. I don't know how people would even try and defend you. The guy whose video that you lifted in your own video, I feel like he is not on your side. He called you shitty multiple times. The only thing he didn't like is that I didn't share child porn to prove your guiltiness. I don't know what exactly he was going on with there, but hopefully what I've shown here is enough to convince even him. Because I feel like there's no way that you can possibly defend these things that you have done. And this is all your fault, by the way, Max. I'm not doing anything to you. I am just bringing what you have done to people's attention. People don't want to support someone like you, Max, that has done these things. People in your own community didn't feel safe, and they reached out to me to tell me some of the shit that you've done. Your close friends were reaching out to me to shit on you, Max, because of the things you've put them through, made them do, and the things that you told them and did together. Like, there is a very big problem with you, Max, and what you've done with the community you've built. And I don't know how you even managed it for this long, because this shit is heinous. It's fucking disgusting stuff. So anyway, that's about it. See ya. Yeah, I'm talking about Boogie again, the internet's favorite clown. Everyone is lining up to throw the baseball at the target to dunk this goober into the water tank, and I can't resist. It's actually unbelievable how he continues to find new deplorable ways to sink deeper into degeneracy and dig himself even deeper holes. I am blown away by his ability to constantly embarrass himself. I don't know what kind of kink this is, but it goes beyond humiliation at this point. So buckle your seatbelt, I'm gonna deliver a high-speed Boogie breakdown here for what happened last night. So, Boogie has maintained for a while that he has cancer, and a lot of his reasoning behind his most recent cryptocurrency scam was that he needed the money for his medical treatments with his cancer. And last night, that diagnosis was challenged with people directly confronting about the authenticity of his claims because there were some inconsistencies and some shady things with what Boogie was saying about it. I believe the catalyst behind this whole conversation was Destiny, who spearheaded the questions that he had about Boogie's diagnosis, and it led to, like, directly talking with him about it, which then led to more and more people coming in to talk to Boogie about it. And for those that don't know, Boogie2988 is a pathological liar. He cannot help himself. Just like a pile of dog shit can't help but smell like poop, Boogie can't help but lie. Even about the most trivial things ever. He used to tell fibs about games and like what games he was playing and finishing and why he needed to buy games to review them only to never review the games. Like, I'm surprised he didn't start weighing in on the Elden Ring DLC being too hard, saying some shit like, oh, well, yes, the Elden Ring DLC was quite simple for me, really. I kind of first tried every single boss. My favorite boss was Rudonius of the Hidden Leaf Village, obviously. Like, he just lies, and he can't help but continue to lie anytime he sees an opportunity for it, especially if it could potentially lead to some level of sympathy. Oh, yes, I've experienced racism. Me, Boogie2988, as you know, I'm a full-blooded Atlantean, and I recall when Plato came to our hidden continent and sunk it himself because he didn't like the color of our skin. Like, he is just a liar, is the point I'm trying to make here. An outrageous one at that. So, with some of the things he was saying, people started to question whether or not he really did have cancer, so they confronted him directly on a podcast, and throughout the 3 or so hours that he was on the podcast there, he chose the worst possible dialogue options every single time, and it eventually culminated with him getting naked.
So, your shred of privacy is this, but not being naked on film, not talking about fucking whores.
Yeah, I'll get naked right now. I'll get naked right now.
Take it off. Let's do it.
A pretty interesting strategy here to get nude, just strip down to your birthday suit. Boogie's playing chess, the rest of us are playing checkers. Lying about having cancer takes a very special kind of scumbag. It's not unheard of on the internet, there's plenty of famous cases of people doing that, but to come in and question Boogie on it, like, you've got to have your ducks in a row. And Boogie, when defending himself, refused to show even a single shred of evidence to push back against the claims, and the claims had more evidence than Boogie did about his diagnosis. And it eventually reached the point where people were begging him to just show, like, a fucking single molecule that would somehow lend any credence to Boogie's claims, and he just refused. There was I think it was an $80,000 bounty. Like, multiple YouTubers came in and offered thousands upon thousands of dollars to Boogie, up to $80,000, to just show a piece of his medical record to a trusted third party, so that way they could verify it, that he really does have cancer like he claims he does, and he refused. Which is very weird, considering Boogie just scammed his audience for $10,000 talking about how desperate he was for money because of his medical bills and everything. So he'll scam his audience for $10,000, but he won't just briefly show a little piece of his medical record here for 80 grand, 80,000 clams? That just doesn't add up, because he's talking about how it's like the last bastion of privacy he has, which doesn't make any sense because Boogie has never given a fuck about privacy. Every single aspect of his life, he has pushed into the public eye that people have to just like have their fucking retinas burned out against their will because Boogie is shoving every aspect of his personal life down their throat. Yet this is the one thing he wants privacy on, even though he himself was the first one to ever talk about it. It just doesn't make sense. So it's definitely not looking good for Boogie after this. He's since deactivated his Twitter account and everything, which probably is only temporary. He's addicted to Twitter. It's like a heroin addict. Like, I imagine he's going to go back to the needle here to Twitter. But for now, it's looking like his ham got steamed on this podcast. It doesn't look good here. Of course, it hasn't been 100% definitively proven that he's lying about his diagnosis or anything like that, but the whole situation around it is very weird for sure. And I just want to show you a little bit from it. Now, a buddy of mine, whom I'm sure all of you have heard me talk about in the past, Jackson Clark, that's a name that lives in infamy in the mind of Boogie. Jackson Clark is Boogie's boogeyman. He mentioned Jackson so many times unprompted in this podcast that the other hosts were left stunned, wondering who the fuck is Jackson? Because Jackson has, for a long time now, been pushing back against a lot of what Boogie has said and done to his audience. And Jackson, a while back, did talk about the diagnosis on Twitter, and it has, I guess, weighed heavy on the psyche of Boogie.
Yeah, I'm never showing any of these motherfuckers my medical paper. Go fuck yourself. I said that 2 years ago, and I'm staying by it now. Destiny, Jackson Clark, Keemstar, you can see it when I fucking die. It's my fucking goddamn medical record.
I don't know why Jackson Clark was on the tip of his tongue there in the middle of this panel, but wow. That's so big. Hold on, I gotta send that to Jackson. Jackson's gonna have a big ol' smile and a big ol' wet spot in his trousers for it. That's big. It was Destiny who put up 5K and Muda put up 50K. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's not like Boogie to turn down free money like that. He just scammed his audience for $10,000, which in this podcast he openly admits to. I think it was who was it? Like, I think it was Nicholas Diorio. Nicholas Diorio at the very end came in and he's like, "What do you mean morals? You scammed your audience for 10K." And Boogie goes, "Yeah, but this is different." He's like, "This is two separate things."
Because I'm insisting on it. Because
Drop the microphone. No, wait. Why would you have to insist on a biopsy if you can confirm?
But this is basically the whole podcast where they are picking apart Boogie's story and just begging and even trying to offer him tons of money to prove that he actually has what he says he has. Where does he mention more Jackson, though?
Goddamn medical records. And I don't want one of you motherfuckers feeling sorry for me. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you do.
Okay? You can hate me as much as you fucking want. But that's, I'm taking one goddamn thing with me. And this is a decision I made when Jackson Clark demanded this shit 2 fucking years ago. And it's a decision I'm fucking sticking to here 2 years
I don't know
later.
who Jackson Clark is.
I don't even know if I'm getting...
That's incredible! Jackson Clark, he did it again! First and last name! He's doing it! He's doing it! That's so huge. And now he looks like a pioneer for being the first to request the Panama Papers on Boogie here. And then 2:43 on the dot, Jackson mentioned again. This is like a Where's Waldo game. Alright, so 2:43 mentioned again.
Getting his name right. It's fucking Moist Critical's butt buddy. I don't fucking know.
Why do you keep calling him Jackson Clark?
I don't...
Oh, wait, he's getting name dropped again!
I know his real name. What is it?
What do you mean you don't know his real name? You've said it 4 times. Jackson Clark. You think that's an alias? A first and last name alias? His real name's fucking Steve Cheeseburger? And why you pretend you don't know his real name? You tweet about him every now and then after blocking him so he can't fight back. That's his pseudonym. He's using it like J.K. Rowling.
I'm gonna let him have
too,
the
right?
win.
I'd break some type of law.
I'm gonna let him have the
laws,
win.
yeah.
I'm gonna let him have the win.
What's the reasoning behind that? Why are you letting him have the win?
Because as I said to Jackson Clark 2 years ago, or at least said about it.
Clark.
Yeah, I am not sharing my medical records. I'm not sharing this with the internet. This is for me. I'm good.
How much money did Jackson Clark get you to fucking say his name?
Yeah, I know, right?
On the stream.
I don't know.
Great advertising, yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's good for Penguinz0. Penguinz0. Jackson Clark. Penguinz0. Jackson Clark. Check it out. Buy Fattycoin. There.
That's honestly, put that on the back of the DVD box. That is so fucking flames. Hold on, I'm telling Jackson timestamps. Get Jackson on stream. He's sleeping right now. It's Australia. He's not up yet. He actually hates you too. He does. He absolutely does. 100%. But he hates everyone that doesn't immediately fall in line and agree with him. What's crazy is he doesn't hate Keemstar, who literally invited him over to his house on the 4th of July just to throw ice cubes at him and bully him. But he hates everybody else. Literally everybody else. It's so odd. It's super weird. I don't know why he hates me and Jackson so much more than everyone else. I genuinely do not. I have talked about Boogie twice. Once with his crypto scam and once with the documentary that dropped where he talked about how his life fell apart from buying hookers and everything and still had a crazy ego about how he deserves to fuck tens and all kinds of heinous shit. Those are the only 2 times I talked about him. And comparatively to everyone else, I don't even think I was that mean. I gave him legitimate advice about maybe instead of scamming your audience, you should just keep making YouTube videos. He averages 20K views per video. If you just make a video a day at that average, he would be able to support himself with at least $10,000 a month. Easy. Bare minimum. Like, I feel like, honestly, it was pretty reasonable. But maybe he doesn't like to hear that. He'd rather people throw ice cubes at him in person. I don't know. I really don't know. You guys did make fun of him in the documentary for like an entire podcast episode. Yeah, constructively. Like, if you're going through all these health problems, maybe don't start every day with a Mountain Dew after you take off your fucking CPAP machine. Like, that's constructive. I think. Like, instead of a Mountain Dew, anything else. And maybe just doing fucking acid in the middle of the forest with a fucking shaman is not going to be the therapist you need. I know, yeah, I know. They brought in everyone for this one. It's certainly not looking like Boogie was telling the truth. Shockingly. But who knows? Maybe for some reason he really is refusing like $80,000 in order to keep this last bastion of privacy. Which isn't really private considering he was the one that talked about it first. Watched all 4 hours, he doesn't hate you and Jackson. He thinks Jackson Clark is your real name and Charles White is one of your internet aliases. No, that's not true. He knows we're separate people. Now you're just making shit up, but I love that. I love that idea. Jackson Clark is my Australian alter. So a couple of quick things. I have made 2 videos on Boogie ever, but he has become a pretty common topic on the podcast where we talk about some of his more recent shenanigans. So maybe that's where he's hearing a lot of it from, because in videos it's only been 2 from me, and on the podcast it's not just me, it's everyone kind of just going over like the Boogie recap on what he's doing right now and why he probably shouldn't be doing what he's doing right now and how he can do things that are better than that. Like maybe that's where he's seeing a lot of it from, where he gets this idea that I'm always, you know, shitting on him or whatever. And the other thing I actually want to dive into a little bit is where I briefly mentioned that if Boogie would just make a video a day, or at least increase the frequency in which he creates content, he would be able to support himself. And he wouldn't need to resort to scams or lies or these elaborate ruses to try and squeeze milk from a stone here and shake down the last remaining audience he has for their lunch money. He could just support himself through what he used to do, which was make content. Yes, he lost most of his audience once they started to take a peek behind the mask, the facade that he put up, then they noticed that he's like the goddamn Babadook, right? He's a monster. But his channel was so big that even losing the majority of his audience still leaves him with a very sizable audience left. That's bigger than like 99% of other channels on the platform already. And averaging between 20 to 30,000 views per video is sustainable. I have another channel, and I've talked about it a couple of times, called Skill Check. And this is for all of the nerdy shit that I love to do. It's pretty niche, so Dungeons and Dragons and trading card games. Right now, mainly Magic the Gathering Commander, but we're branching into more Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece TCG content. I have a huge passion for this shit, and the average views on the videos for that channel is right around 30 to 40,000-ish. Sometimes they pop off like the Commander game with Wubby or the Shot Caller Commander game, but the average is between like 30 to 40,000 across the whole channel. And I'm going to just give you a peek behind the old analytics here. This is what the channel generates. Off 2.1 million views per month, it makes over $7,000 per month. Now let's compare that to Boogie's channel. Boogie, even when not creating content, his channel basically just gathers fucking cobwebs because he doesn't want to put any work in and make stuff. Even with that in mind, his channel still makes almost 1 million views per month. Now imagine if he would just post more frequently. He could easily fucking support himself through AdSense. He could. No matter what lie he tries to feed you about how that's not possible, no one wants to watch him, his average says otherwise. He just doesn't want to do it. He's looking for the easier paydays, like taking $10,000 up front to pump a fucking crypto scam. If it is true that Boogie is lying about all of this, that'll just be yet another unbelievably low thing that Boogie has done throughout his career. And he has made a career out of doing some of the lowest shit the platform's ever seen. So again, it hasn't been 100% confirmed that he's lied about this. So maybe he is telling the truth. Maybe he's got stick it to the monneosis. Like, it's just all a very odd set of circumstances with the way all of this is unfolding here. And I just had to talk about it a little bit because, man, I mean, Jackson Clark, he got mentioned so many times here, and this is just such a fucking weird story. That's really about it. See ya. As I was rendering the video here, some new lore just dropped, a little update to this case. Keemstar made a tweet kind of talking about some things behind the scenes. Now, he's like the Boogie whisperer. Boogie tells him everything, I guess. So, I think probably best to wait for Boogie to confirm all of this, but I'll at least put this here for the sake of covering everything that's come out here. According to Keem's tweet, Boogie went on steroids that could cause cancer in the blood, and then 2 years ago, after he lost his money in crypto, went to the doctor, said he had high red blood cells, indicating he may have it. And before he got any confirmation, he made a YouTube video announcing it, and then for 2 years has been telling people he has it to use it for sympathy, and he never actually got confirmation, but now apparently he's scheduled to go see whether or not he has it. So that's the most recent update there, and it doesn't come directly from Boogie, so I guess we might have to wait to see what he says about it, even though Boogie himself isn't really a reliable narrator since he lies about everything ever. But again, there is no 100% confirmation on whether or not he's lying about this or anything, but it is certainly very peculiar. Very, very weird. That's about it. See ya.